your full potential. Come and be inspired. Join me, Dr. Asha Mwendo, on Healing Moment inside Gospel and Soul every Wednesday, 6 p.m., where we will help you to understand your purpose. We will help you to find your wind. We'll show you how to open your wings and fly. Healing Moments. Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Nice Gomez, host and producer of Inside the Zone in New York, the community platform where information is guaranteed. Join me on Mondays at 5 on Fit 96.7, fitfmja.com, Trelawney's Radio, your life, your music, for exciting features within the diaspora. Hear what's on our minds. It's live at 5 on Fit 96.7, fitfmja.com.
Fit FM is owned and operated by Communistation Company Limited, located in Stuart Castle, Duncan's Trelawney, Jamaica. We broadcast on FM 96.7 locally and is heard worldwide on fitfmja.com. Our mission is to amplify diverse voices and opinions, inform, educate, entertain, and engage listeners of all ages and lifestyle while promoting responsible community development. Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Blessings and light. This is Aymara, the musical revolutionary. Your host on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. This and every Monday at 3 p.m. From the home to the community to the wider world. Let us be the change we want to see. Join me this and every Monday at 3 p.m. on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. Fit mind, fit body, fit community, fit world. This is Aymara, the musical revolutionary, on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Struggle goes on. We are the builders of the pyramids. We are the builders of the stone cities of Zimbabwe. We build them White House. We build them factories. With blood, with sweat, with tears. With flesh, with bones. Them use build them economy. Now them want come con you and me. With them science and them technology. We make them take with knowledge. Now them are deafly. Them are blindly. We are walk, we are ride, we are drive, we are fly. Nah look, nah see. Eyes focus on the screen of an iPhone, Galaxy, tablet, Blackberry. Wake up, look, look. Uno no sister them a bury with. Ancestors crying out. Them are weak, you see we heading back to slavery. Robotic, digital technological slavery. The rich take them session, call it recession, left the world in depression. Legal and illegal drugs and alcohol on the rise, in their interests. To our demise, we patronize, now become marginalized. Make fools seem wise because we abide them lies and sell with light. Prostituting our sons, daughters, and wives. Marcus did rise. Knock did rise. Bogle did rise. Taki did rise. Queen and Zinga did rise. Harriet Tubman rise. Rosa Parks rise. Malcolm X rise. Frederick Douglass rise. Ancestors rise.
Yes, yes, yes. This is the Community Buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. Yes, www.fitfmja.com. And we are also simulcasting on Primal Media, and that is www.primal4k.com. Yes, it's a cool Monday afternoon, you know, and I feel irie. I feel irie because my morning start out irie. I go down to Burwood Beach, go well, swim and sing, you know. Never know that my singing was entertaining people and I was winning fans, you know what I mean? But the people, them love the vibration. But I want to say, you see beaches like Burwood and other beaches around, we have to make sure that the seniors, them have access to these beaches. Last week, Monday morning, I went down there and I saw some seniors doing what you call aerobics in water. We call it water aerobics. See? And that was beautiful. And we just full joy watching these seniors after hard works over the years, you know, doing what they did to make significant contribution to this country, right? So them should at least have access to all the beaches in Jamaica. So those people who claim that they have private ownership to beaches should consider allowing at least the seniors over 50. See, we go enjoy the beaches. So we can call ourselves seniors. I am agitating and advocating for myself. See? So that the people can full joy life and full joy Jamaica. We can work so hard, you know, over the years and still, you know, lack out of certain, I don't even like use the word privilege, you know, because it should be a right, you know, a right that we have to, you know, everything on this island, our ancestors fought and shed their blood for all of this. So therefore, we shouldn't be here going around like beggars and still under some title what they call squatters, you know, and some people who call people squatters don't even know that they are squatters themselves because you're on the property of the crown if you have to check the whole thing deeply. You know what I mean? Because them claims here them own ya. So we have find a way to control ya, like how we know say we are African. And as the poem does just say, we are the builders of the pyramids. We are the builders of the stone cities of Zimbabwe. We build them White House, we build them factories with blood, with sweat, with tears. Them use build them economy. Now they want to come you and me with them science and them technology. You see what a madness. Another world away now. We soon go to something because I wrote this poem when years ago. I never remember. I was going up in an elevator in a Digicel, and I see some people just step on them phones and I say, and one of the daughters just come down to the elevator and just step across the road and she not look up nor down. And the poem they come to me. And I see the revelation of it happen right now in the world, yeah, you know. You know what I mean? Robotic, digital slavery. We see people adrift this right now. So, we want to tell the people them say, when you can call in, you know, 876-478-9144. 876-513-6668. Right? Call in because we have a special guest here. And I want you to call in an interrogator. I give them that hard to interrogate you. And I believe she's quite capable of answering every question that you're going, because she's well trained. I soon read out her credentials and all the things that she have been through and did in her life, and prepare herself for this task that she had to take on. Anyway, we are here on Fit FM. As me say, me feel good, man. Me feel good in the day because, yeah, I feel, oh yeah, you see, Julia? We have to use that term there, otherwise we feel fit, after you go swim and, get a nice bath, wash your natty and oil up yourself with some coconut oil and pimento seed in it. You know them thing there, when we used to go to school at a vibration there, my mother used to just make sure say she have some coconut oil and some pimento seed and sometimes like a camphor ball in it. Camphor ball, and then with a highly up and you feel nice. I go to school in the morning, full of energy. And we have to get back to them things. The more I'm got my brethren Royal, the man who always provide me with some good, what I call it, authentic, make we use that term there, coconut oil, You want some? See there, me have to go make you, me have to go tell Royal where I go on. Yeah man, organic, the real organic coconut oil, So I just saw there. Them say anything where you put on your skin supposed to can be ingested, you know what I mean? So if it's not good for eat, don't put it on your skin. And don't put it in your head neither, worse of all. So we're there and we are all the vibes, We want to big up the people over Primal, Heal up Nehema Edwards. Bless up mommy, honey will be better very soon. And bless up my brethren, man called Joel Mo Young, and all the people who tune in across the world, the people in New Jersey, the people in Russia, the people in China, the people in Southern America, where I say heal up, and the people in and around the communities here in Trelawney, whether you're up Wakefield, whether you're around, say you're up, so much community, there's a sister say that you have done some kindness to her, and she's on the other side, she's a staunch other side person. So it means that there's something good inside of you, because if somebody on the other side speaking highly of you, I told her to tune in and to throw some question to you too. However, before we introduce a guest, make we introduce her this way, if you can find it quick, Julia.
My father Banya, my father Banya, my grandmother Banya, my grandmother Banya, Ayana Banya, Ayana Banya, my leader Banya, my leader Banya. That's why I not live. No, I not live. He gave I a message to all those people who no love progress, who no love progress. Say to juke them with land lease. Say to juke them with land lease. Let the juke them with the pioneer board. Juke them with the pioneer board. Juke them with Jamal. Juke them with Jamal. Then you juke them with Sweet.
Yes, the man called Neville Martin. He's also a Banya. If I saw it go, I understand he's a man from Upper Duncan, somewhere up there, so. And he make a big tune like this, a big tune we used by both sides, the two sides, the political party used it. The last time the GLP dried on the PMP was St. Mary. And I sure say them is a Banya. But we have a very special guest here. So me I go just tell you a little bit about her, qualification, Master of Arts, Communication for Social and Behavior Change, Bachelor of Arts, Mass Communication, First Class Honors, double minor, political science, gender studies, postgraduate diploma, mass communication, honors in radio. What? Education, Caribbean School of Media and Communication, that is Carrimack University of the West Indies. Mount Alverna High School, William Need Memorial High School, Falmouth College. Occupation, work history, business owner, lecturer at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Jamaica campus, Western campus, right? Public and Community Relations Officer, St. James Parish Council, researcher, Euro Money Magazine, London. I have to get into that because, you know, right now, to all the thing I go with money now, it means that we have a rich source and sit downside that way. I need to associate myself to all money people right now. Public Relation Officers at Mona School of Business. News reporter at 102 FM, news reporter, Western Mirror, and also news reporter for Power 106 FM. Welcome, our special guest, Suzette Comrade. Let me say comrade and introduce her. Comrade Suzette Brown.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, miss?
I'm great.
I'm happy to have you here in our company on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music, right? We're happy to have you here. And you know what, go, his radio, and how we deal with radio, we're not stuck up over here up on the program now. It's free flow, and it's the people station, right? So we are giving thanks that you are here.
I'm happy to be here.
All right. Now, you are here as an aspirant, you know, for the People's National Party.
Only one.
And you say you're the only one.
Yeah.
Well,
No. I'm not saying I'm the only aspirant. I'm saying the party is the only one for me.
Okay. The only, let me not say not yet. Recently, I have another aspirant here, you know what I mean? Mr. Dennis Meadows. I'll give thanks that he was here, you know. And there's 3 people going up for this division, you know.
The constituency?
Or the constituency. No 3? Make we say 3 because you say 2. But we did have one that say him a go up to. So forget that one day. So when we say 3 people, because you and that other person, Mr. Meadows, there is no clarity. Yes, that's why you're here. You know what I mean? And until we get some clarity, we know say it's 2 people. There's a what you call it, an incumbent, and there's somebody who's trying to unseat that person who hold the seat. So tell me something about yourself, otherwise then when we read that song, you understand?
Okay,
because I will leave a thing, so you know,
well,
you know what I mean, for you're well prepared for this, and
indeed I am.
knowing that you was a former councillor, you know what I mean, for Montego Bay South Division.
Yeah.
You know, that was when tell people like when you're
Well, I mean, from the onset, let me just express gratitude for yourself and Julia to reach out and ask me to be a part or to make myself available for this program. You know, I keep saying that my life is, it's just a series of, you know, full circle moments. Because Julia and I used to work at Radio Waves. Indeed, so we go way back. And I mean, sitting in the studio, yes, Julia, you used to be in the studio. I used to be in the newsroom, but then I would have to carry around the news to you, you know. So this just bring back a flood of memories, positive memories. And I somehow met you the other day when I was guest speaker in Montego Bay at a function.
Yes.
Yeah, so here we are. And let me state that I'm a daughter of Falmouth. You know, news of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I'm here. You understand? There are 2 aspirants going up for the PNP in North Trelawney for Member of Parliament, our candidate, and I'm one of them. A decision has not yet been made. The party is yet to make a decision. So I'm still in the race, and I'm not going anywhere. Truth be told, I'm from here. I can't go anywhere. So no matter what, there's still connection, familial connection. I mean, umbilical connections. You know, I was born in Falmouth. My neighbor's drink cut there, so Falmouth Hospital. So I'm right there. Yeah, so with that being said, I am from Falmouth. And, you know, I see
all of what is happening, because even though I'm living in Montego Bay and a situation that will change, yes, I'm a homeowner there, but we're in the process of sourcing property here. And from my understanding, all of that will be ready in August. So I'll become full-fledged Jelani girl again. Yeah? Yeah. So this is how we operate. Um, we're seeing all the changes, some of them not so positive. And I'm never one to just complain and not try and do something about it. So here I am. This is an attempt for me to do it in a real way, you know? And I mean, as we have this kind of dialogue and as the afternoon progresses, I'm certain that you'll be able to, you know, you'll be hearing a lot more. But just as a precursor, this is where we are.
Yes, because we are going to get deep into the thing, you know what I mean? We are going to ask a whole heap of questions about the and geopolitics, and, you know, because you see, you study political science, and there's somebody who love politics. I'm a political creature. See? So,
well, let me point out to you, though, you know, Imara, that book politics and grown politics are two different politics.
And that me want to talk about.
Yeah.
Some believers, they go study this, you know, them don't realize that politics is a science that affects our lives every single day and every moment, every decision. You know, we make every policy that formed, it's political, you know what I mean?
True.
So we have to understand that the economic changes that is taking place in the world now, all of this is politics, and people must get themselves ready for all of these things. Now, you serve as a counselor, right? For the PMP. So you just say a while ago, say, I guess you're always there. So, you know what I mean? Give us some of the experiences, you know, that you had while you
was a counselor,
and why you feel you want to step up from a counselor to be an MP. Because a counselor is somebody who is at what you call the local government level, understand more about the people. And sometimes to me feel like the counselor, them have more power. It all depends. And I realize that you was once the chairman of that division as well. Indeed. So it means, you know, there is something inside of you, you know, that whole thing of leadership and to be chairman of a division. Explain to us and to the listeners, you know, the experiences you had and why you want to step it up.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm well prepared. Let me just say that. I am well prepared for the role that I'm going to take on now, having served as a counselor for Montego Bay South Division. And Montego Bay South Division, it sounds a bit, you know, it sounds nice. But as a woman or even as a person, Montego Bay South includes downtown Montego Bay, North Gully, Canterbury, Hart Street, Barracks Road, Railway Lane. You know, yes, you have the Cornwall Gardens and that section of Mount Salem where Cornwall Regional is on that side of Mount Salem. So you do have, like, you know, 2 or 3 middle income housing developments there, but for the most part, it was really the inner city communities that I would serve. And trust me, yeah, we get the baptism of fire. Wow. Because at the end of the day, Montego Bay politics is a politics of money, is a money politics. Understand? They're not necessarily interested in hearing about education, community development. I've oftentimes said that maybe it would be easier, whatever allocation a council would get, to say work on roads and those kind of things. Maybe you just have an account, a bank account someplace, and you give everybody a card and say, listen, you can go there and take out $1,000 or so. I'm certain that maybe they would have been happier. But then as a woman,
yes,
you know, I was never content with taking the people's money, because it is never the government's money, you know, Julia or Imara. It is the people's money. I'm never content to just taking it and distributing it, you know, just giving it away and have nothing to show. Well, during my 4 years as counselor, I don't know what was happening during that time, because we tended to have the most house fires. Every minute there was another fire. And then the allocation that you get as a counselor, which was at the time about between $160,000 and $180,000 a month. That can barely run one household. So I had to be very creative about how I manage that kind of money, because even in my household, that would have been inadequate, So how do we stretch that money? And you still have to help out Miss Jane with our medication, fulfill our prescription. You might have to help somebody if even buy a cylinder gas, so they can cook them food and that kind of thing. You have to help send some kids to school. So I had to be very creative.
Out of 180,000.
Out of 180,000.
And when you talk about that division, how much people
that division had about 19,000 people there.
19,000 people. And when you realize that most of that division are inner city people who maybe have struggled hard.
Right, they don't. For the most part, unemployed. You understand? A lot of mothers, single mothers, kids need to be fed, that kind of thing. So, at the end of the day, sometimes from time to time they'll hear no. So some people are of the view that, she kind of mean. But no, I'm not mean. At the end of the day, I don't believe in wasting money. I don't believe in that.
Well, if I have money, you did that for years.
That amount of money. Exactly.
$180,000 can do
a lot. But you see, my skill set served me very well.
Yes.
As a trained communicator, I'm able to write proposals. So I would write, say for instance, I need computers for schools. I'd write a proposal to Caribbean Development Bank, something I've done and gotten, some computers which we gave to schools. Having started to realize that there are so many schools in the division and then even the wider constituency, because at the time Lloyd B. Smith would have been the member of parliament and we had two other councillors in Southeast and in South Spring divisions. Said that, what are we going to do? I had some connection in California and those persons wanted to come in and support and give support to schools that have pit latrines. So they wanted to turn them to kind of develop toilets, flush toilets, so students will be able to, be more comfortable. In my division, I realized that there were no pit latrine at school in my division, but in South Spring division, there were those. So, I'd have handed off those persons to the council there. But then I felt that why don't we look in a more holistic way at the development of schools, because I'm for education.
Yes.
It is still a fire way to get people out of poverty, in spite of all that they say. Because I what don't know it continues to do. I sat down with, I invited all the principals. I to be allowed to elect, invited all principals from schools within the constituency, and also invited Sam Sharp Teachers College principal at the time, because it the teacher institution, and for the councils to be there as well. So everybody came. We had Minister Ronnie Thwaites at the time. He's in the education minister, so he came and had dialogue. The strangest thing that planned the election, but didn't even get to be there. The good thing was, everybody knew what the assignment was, because I had to travel with the mayor at the time to China, on government business. So, they came, we asked them to highlight all the challenges that they're having in the different schools. You're going to a break?
No.
Okay.
It's just that we're getting on our WhatsApp. You're getting the baptism this afternoon.
Okay.
So it's not on. It's on our WhatsApp, not on Facebook or YouTube. So the questions are coming in.
Okay, cool.
It's direct to
Come on,
the stage.
we're ready for
So
that.
I will throw it to you, Suzette, because
No
this
problem.
one is right. So allow me to read. Amara, me to read. Amara, you want me to read what is?
Read that.
Okay, let me read this. Okay, so prepare yourself now, Suzette Brown.
Well prepared.
Okay, and this is coming from a listener from the diaspora.
Okay.
Do you think that because you're born young qualifies you over the other aspirant? what if one should ask, how comes you leave and go serve somewhere else? If the seat was not up, would you relocate? Why only now you want to buy place?
Excuse me.
Villiers?
Who asked the question?
Who asked the
Who asked
question?
him?
Patrick Beckford.
All right, so
Foodie.
Patrick Beckford.
Foodie.
All right,
Foodie.
so-
You know who is.
Exactly.
All right, so
What happened if you're not selected? Would you stay and help the party?
I'm not about helping no party though. Foodie. I'm into helping people. And I've always been helping people. I'm Jamaican, first and foremost. Exactly. So I've always been connected to Falmouth. My father lives there. Everybody, all of my people them there. So it's not like me gone away, really. You know, having left UA, at the time as a student, relocated, doing communication work. We are in Falmouth offer communication work. Exactly. So I would have gone where the job was. And as a result, having excelled in Montego Bay, developed a reputation there, people asked me to represent their interests politically. And I mean, being a good Jamaican, I accepted and I served well. I served well. But no, in fact, I was asked to return to Falmouth to serve. So it's not like me pack up my bungalow and say, you know, all of that. Furthermore, I do have other interests in Falmouth. Foodie, I do.
Foodie, me never know, so you know Foodie, you make you bust your bubble around there. So Foodie, I wonder why they call you Foodie. But anyway, that is politics, you know. I know you're well prepared for that. You
Yeah,
know,
man, we're ready,
I
man.
mean,
We're ready.
and me know say, since you know,
But he's in the diaspora, right?
is in the
So we're
diaspora.
making-
This is the next thing we're going to ask the question now. See, how important, because this is somebody from the diaspora, how important, you know, it is for the support from the diaspora, because you know, whether whatever support, you know what I mean, whether moral support, whether financial support, because we know the people doing the campaign trail all over the world, you know, in the diaspora, to get some form of funding and support from
Well, it's not just
people
about
out
funding.
there. Yeah, people out there. You know what I mean?
Because for the
Sometime-
most part, and I mean, again, Foodie, in a way, kind of highlight an important issue. And that issue for me is persons returning to serve.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just financially. It's so easy for you to say, all right, I'll send a 500 US, or I'll send whatever, come assist with that thing, or so on. But you putting yourself,
Yeah.
and for the most, Falmouth in particular, need that kind of support. And not just Falmouth, in fact, the entire North Trelawney. We need a new set of leaders emerging. Otherwise, we are doomed to keep repeating all of what is happening there. It is for a lack of leadership why a lot of what is happening there now can happen, where you have, you know, maybe 5 or 6 persons thinking that they are in charge of the entire North Trelawney. It is for a lack of leadership why that can be allowed to happen. Because guess what? Nature don't like no vacuum. It must be filled. So therefore, there are others in the diaspora, Jamaicans, anywhere they go, tend to excel. And a lot of them have some kind of skill set that we need now. You understand? So they need to come back on board. And even if they can't relocate fully, they have set times, like the team that I would work with out of California, the Jamaican Association of California. They return every year, sometimes twice a year, to serve. You understand? So even in Falmouth, I know that there is a Friends of Trelawney organization, and they have an event coming up where they raise money and that kind of thing. But, you know, they need to come and even see how the money that they raise is really, spent to help whoever is targeted or targeted to serve.
You know, on this program, we always is African consciousness. So within politics, for me, is also African consciousness. And when we say African consciousness, the kind of economic system, the structure that we want to totally liberate ourselves from the whole colonial system, because me know that the service that you have done over the years, though I know that many of it affected people in a positive way and impacted people in a positive way, but there's a structure that you worked on, and all of us here in Jamaica is still under that structure. So we always observe the principle of Kwanzaa, and today we want to just read a little part here, which is purpose. I'm going to ask you a question after that. Purpose, which is near. To make our collective vocation and building and developing our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. What is your purpose, right? Within the whole political spheres, give me your political ideal. I'm not talking about the party ideology, but your personal views, your thing, how you would like to see if it develop a new order. Because you just say we need new leadership. And when you say new leadership, I'm not talking about the physical person, but a new leadership with a new ideological outlook.
Well, I mean, people need to, number one, regain their voice. People need to realize that really and truly they have the power, the true power. You understand? And it is because a lot of them, for a lot of persons, their voices have been taken away by people, again, who say they are representing their interest, but are not really representing their interest. They're representing their own. Why they because I grew up in a family that was very, very, you really have some forward thinking and innovative people. Falmouth for me was like my happy place growing up. I was told I was poor, but I did not know that. I didn't know what that meant because I had everything that I needed to survive. I grew up in a town that was clean. You had gutter sweepers. In fact, sometimes they're the ones who would wake us up. Not so much. The place was clean. A lot was happening culturally. The people were aware, but I don't know what has happened over many years. People just seem to, I don't know. I don't know if it is despair, but somehow they have lost them lose their voice. Nobody's saying anything. And we just even know why some of the things that are happening are allowed to happen, because people don't know what to do. They are confused for the most part. My job as a representative is to put the systems in place to give them a voice and to remind some of who they are, because Falmouth for me was an active town. A lot was happening. You had the youth clubs, you had, a library that was functioning, and I know it's still functioning, but then persons were encouraged to use the library, both adults and children. That's how I knew that first I found journalism on the side because I was well read. The people in my library, they're tired for me. Sometimes in a one day, I change books 3 times because I've been gone home. But so we want to get that. We want to see that happening again. And for me, I want North Trelawny to be a model constituency. And what does that mean? Yeah. Model constituency, where our people are educated, our youths are involved, positively involved in the life of the constituency, the life of them community, where culturally they are culturally aware and what culture is, and the activities are there, the cultural activities are there for them to be involved with. And people oftentimes say that, show when you see how people treat our elderly and our kids, you know whether we're going somewhere. If you see too many, Falmouth has one of the largest elderly population. Not Falmouth, North Trelawny. Do you know that? As a constituency? And no plans are being put in place for them. While some of them are unable. It's not like they have insurance to live off of or anything like that. I went up into a place called Amdenland just a few days ago and found this gentleman. Not even dogs. And yet, they would take him out every time to go and vote. And then you bring him back at the place and the inside and outside of the house being eaten down by duckhands.
But people are saying that is the modus operandi of all politicians.
But put aside even politics.
Hold on. At the level where people, because this is a complaint, and if you're interact with the youths in the street, and when you look on the result of the last election, right, and see the amount of people, though there are more than one thing why we have that low voters turnout in the last election, so we sometimes we have to kind of don't look on the statistic of that election because, to me, that election should be null and void. To how me see the country run and to how the election there, and that's why sometimes me I wonder if we really have a what I call it a opposition will really depend on the ground, will really stand up and defend truths and rights to the people. Anyway, the question I want to ask you, is this: you start something about culture a while ago, right? And we realize that there's a new kind of culture developing right now, especially among younger people, right? And that is the culture that they are aware of. You know what I mean? The culture of even scamming now, the culture of dunceness, because there's a culture that we have inherited from up north, since the 90s. Where's a culture where is who have the biggest car, who have, a nice woman, who have the most girls. So that is a culture that as a politician, you have to go interact with those people. So when you say cultural awareness, you want them to be more culturally aware. Really define that we can understand, because in a Jamaica, we realize that there are diverse amount of culture right now that we are facing, and some of them, even the culture of politics, are changed right now.
True.
So, what you have to say about the whole diversity of cultural activity we have to deal with right now?
Well, again, in the absence of knowledge, the people will suffer. Yeah, because the thing is, and I can't blame the youth, they're accustomed to seeing, you can't have a society where your teachers can't even afford to buy a vehicle. And yet, no matter what, no matter how young they be nowadays, everybody want to feel accomplished. And there are some things that go along. There are some status symbols that go along with that kind of accomplishment. The cars, you understand, the big house. Nobody now live in it. Because look at our prime minister. Him say a big house I do the thing, right? They want the clocks, they want the clothing that go along with all of that. So all those things are status symbols. So nobody now emulate no teacher. Nobody now emulate no police. Nobody now emulate no fireman, and none of them something there. Everybody, they look to, the persons who they think can supply them those things are those persons, and which is why the prime minister cannot treat them, because he recognized that, but rather than use it for good, he just go deeper into the foolishness with his clerks wearing and all of that.
So when you say clerks, Mama, you understand what you say? They say, clerks is a status symbol. Remember when we were youth and we have on clerks, we used to all get beaten for that and go jail and them thing there, They then catch you with a clerks and you then see you have on a clerk, certain policeman. Not them time there, you're bad. No, clerks attached to badness. Clerks on certain shirt, we used to wear arrow shirt and, you're dressing. You know what I mean? Especially when certain party did not power.
But there has been a cultural shift, right?
And the culture. So this is what I say. When you say clerks is a status symbol, and some of the other things in that you mentioned, a status symbol, and you have somebody in leadership or whoever in leadership promoting that. And when you look at it and realize that these status symbols that the people are gravitating to, none of them something there, not really created by us. They are from elsewhere. What is your views on all of that? Where are we going when, people are gravitating to clerks as a status thing, or some other things to Gucci and so them thing, and them thing there, and big house, and I know everybody, because if you have got to build a big house, you must have land. And most of the people around here, according to a statistic that we did last week with Simone Maddox from Anchorage, A New Kind of Justice, the percentage of people in Jamaica who
Entitled.
have title. So when you observe all of them things there, how we can make the change with that mindset like those, if that is where the youth their mind there.
Well, again, I mean, sometimes you see, you need to start. People oftentimes say, and parents, and I've experienced that, will say that, listen, your focus on education not help because Pitney can't vote. Them tell you that point blank, especially in the inner city communities. Pitney don't vote, and we vote for you, and we need the money, right? Yeah. So you're focused on sending kids to school and spend it not gonna work for you. But that is where we really need to start. We need to have some kind of focus on early childhood education and primary education. Those things are very, very important. We need to go back there. So
You know, say Damian Crawford the losing seat for that.
that's true.
You don't realize that make you losing seat.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
me experience it firsthand.
Yeah.
When me hear parents tell me that, me shock. Me say, Jesus, but I mean, you already gone through gate already, and you not going with nothing. You don't hear so the hustle, you know. So you want your Pitney come and hustle the same way? Who's gonna break this generational, whatever you want to call it, whether it's a curse or what, you know? But somebody needs to break it. My focus now is on your child, and I think I'm doing you a favor because who to tell? This time I come and take care of you, so that you not put no pressure when you all upon the system. You understand? So that is, again, we need to go right back to basics: early childhood, primary education, and train the teachers them for kind of, you know, impart that curriculum. And that curriculum must also include civics. We need to go back to that. I believe we need to. I'm convinced that we need to do that. I'm putting if you start go to church again and go to Sunday school. Yeah.
Julia, I don't know if you have anything there. Make we kind of cool off the heat a little, and then, you know.
Better roses, Diana.
Diana, right. Better roses. Make we go in on the bed of roses there.
Nubian king, you know I love you. No apologies when I chose you. Everything you do, I adore you. Just the way you are, I wouldn't change you. You make me bring back old times, something. Shivering my daddy, tired everything. When you open the door for me, pull out a chair for me, carry me down a church when you marry me. Life on a 100 houses, the deepest river on the longest. The moon shines brighter in the darkness, and the tallest tree I know the strongest. Life on a 100 houses, oh, deepest river on the longest. The moon shines brighter in the darkness, and the tallest tree I know the strongest. Even though they say you can't afford me, deep in me heart, me know you love me. Hard working man who will provide for me. Never tell me no fear it till I pop me up a lie. Never tell me say you wanna castle in the sky for me. You work till your strength runs dry. Yes, I need honesty, baby, I'm a guy. I know I got to say you the other eye. Life on a 100 houses, the deepest river on the longest. The moon shines brighter in the darkness, and the tallest tree I know the strongest. Life on a 100 houses, oh, the deepest river on the longest. The moon shines brighter in the darkness, and the tallest tree I know the strongest. We have a nice little ranch down the orchard.
Welcome forward to the community buzz, and that's Diana Wright, and she has said life on a 100 roses, you know, and the deepest river is not really the longest. Sometimes it's really deep and it's not really too long, but you know, when we observe what is happening, we want the people in for call in still 876 478 9144 876 513 6668. call in because some people no want to interact on the radio or they don't want to say anything, but them send out some little message, like recently when I made a post for advertising this program, somebody from over Primal sent me a message that somebody said, why I continue to carry on PMP people and not the other side. Well, I am saying that this program is open to everybody, you know what I mean? So if you don't want to come talk, and if you don't feel like to call in, call in and depend whatever. Yes, I mean, I say this is open invitation for everybody. And that is radio. This is communication, and we are communicating to the people out there, and we want you to communicate with us as well. You understand? I want to read a little thing from Barack Obama. I want if you just listen keenly and sink in. And for the international order that we have worked for a generation to build, ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. The order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign. I want to read that again. And for the international order that we have worked for a generation, too small, govern. The order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
We attribute that quote again? We attribute that quote to
Barack Obama.
What a sin.
And when I dig deep into it, I realize it is not a sin. Because if you're really small-minded, you're not really going to go nowhere now. If you're small-minded.
And that statement is so much deeper than that, though.
But you see, these are how these people formulate language. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to decode these languages for yourself to find out what them really are said. Because if you observe what is taking place with us today, if we continue, and just what you're saying about the people that you interact with, you know what I mean, are interacted with over the years pertaining to community development, pertaining to the development of their children to be better than them, and them just look on a little hand-to-mouth thing, maybe just a dinner from you rather than you say, you know what, we want to send your children to school and make your children come out with something that can create maybe generational wealth to break the cycle of poverty that suffer for the past 40, 50 years, right? But see that's kind of a small-minded kind of people in there, right? And in order for those who call themselves sovereign, because sovereign are things that created. Sovereign is a title that is created by some people, you know what I mean?
They always call themselves leaders.
But you see, them see themselves as sovereign because you surrender your rights to them. And if you surrender your individual right to the sovereign, or the people who call themselves sovereign, it's just people like you. But I believe, as him said, for generation we have worked. How much are we really want for work for generation? And when him say generations, you mean it's centuries. Now, that kind of mindset of our people, and when we look on the kind of politics that we are dealing with here in Jamaica right now, the individualistic kind of politics, more than a cohesive kind of politics, a kind of communal politics. We realize that politics there not exist anymore. You know what I mean? And it take a particular kind of leadership to mobilize and organize the people to keep them as a unit.
True.
You know what I mean? And we see that kind of missing right now.
True. And leadership.
And this is a question. You as a politician who knows say this here something here is not a bed of roses. And you look pretty young, although you have so much achievement. So you say you're somebody who really work very hard, you know what I mean? and still look the way you look. You understand? I mean, I commend you for your pretty look. Anyway, now, with all of that, and we see the challenges, especially within this time, what make you really want to take on this, man?
That's a good question. And you know,
What make you want to take on that stress here?
sometimes you need to step into your purpose. And maybe this is my purpose. Yes, I'm a communicator at heart, you know, and when it comes to politics too, and people don't understand, you really have to give up yourself. You understand? You have to find people to run your business. Normally, you don't run that. I mean, holidays, you don't have no holiday, you don't have no free time really. Because even as a politician, when you're traveling outside of the country, by right, you need to leave them an address as to where you're going. So if in the event something happens here, they can reach you. So you really have you pretty much give off yourself totally. But I mean, some of us, we see what is happening around, and how do you live comfortable, knowing that you have a skill set that you can apply to make, you know, many persons' lives better? Because I think that some people's destiny are intersected with my destiny. You understand? So God brought me to this place in order that I can help some people forget to where they're supposed to go. So I tend to put that, and for me it's a sacrifice. So I put that ahead of my comfort. It's a sacrifice you have to make.
Communicator, you use that term, you know, regularly. You know what I mean? I saw a little youth, and I see the youth and Lisa Anna recently again. His name is Akeith Nugent, right? Him not attain anything, you know, acquire a master's and all of them things there yet. But him also create Akeem Nugent Academy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, some people are going to say, if Akeem can do that as a little 13-year-old young man in them community, why so much of us are the politicians them who achieve so much from the system, not serving them people? And the only time they claim that they want to serve them people is to go in or seek power.
But the strangest thing though, Amar, is that so many of them are also serving the people. It's just that, take from me, for instance, me no love a hype. Me don't like, because number one, it's not about self. It's not about me. Yeah. Even after coming out of politics, even after losing in local government in Montego Bay, me have Pitney who me still send go school, because that for me, that is important, is also a calling of mine. So me take my personal money and me send them to school. And even now, anybody come to me, once you have to do with education or anything like that, you know, improvement, trust me, me I find the money.
All right.
Even now. So it's just, you know, for me, it's substance over hype. Me can't take too much high foolishness.
Well, listen, all right. Yeah, what me I gonna say, as a good communicator, you see the substance that you are putting out there, it needs to be highlighted. So
this is where you come in.
It needs to be highlighted. Well, if you know, me not gonna know if you communicate it and tell the people, say, you know what I mean? She is doing this great amount of work. You understand? So you need to make the people understand.
And we will. But the thing is, you know, when you're not in politics, right? For me, no. I have corporate clients that I deal with. I do their events, I do their marketing, I do their PR, and so on. So it is easy for me to work for them. But for me, you know, if I go around promoting myself that kind of way.
But that is a part of politics.
Yes, but
you
then but now that I'm back here, you know, and people are expecting that of you, then you'll put a team to deal with that kind of thing. Because we still have problem talking too much about myself. It is a challenge. It's a trepidation.
You know, say, I'm not a politician then. Because you have to learn.
Yes, I understand that.
You have to learn to talk about yourself.
Yes, I understand that. Yes, I'm getting to that place. I understand.
I suffer that too, you know.
Yeah.
As a recording artist, I feel like I don't do much.
And just now I heard and I connected the voice to what I was hearing, and I realized that it was you. And I'm hearing this for the first time. So therefore we're in the same boat. We're gonna help each other.
See? But as we are saying,
we're gonna help each other.
You see, we have so much thing on the agenda. I don't want the time fly off before we talk about some of the things then. Because we not time, you know. Julia asked you to line up something for me. Have it because I want you to play it. That thing that I sent it to you via WhatsApp. Yes, okay. See? So what upon some other things.
Mhm.
We say we're in Jamaica. Let me read something to you first, that you can understand where we are pertaining to and when we want to carry this argument. See?
Mhm.
This is the Treaty of Madrid. See? And the Treaty of Madrid is from 1670. And this is Article 7 from that treaty, right? All offenses, damages, losses, injuries, which the nations and the people of Great Britain and Spain have at any time heretofore, upon what cause and pretext soever, you know them kind of language, suffered by each other in America, plunged out of remembrance and buried in the oblivion, as if no such thing had ever passed. Moreover, it is agreed that the most serene King of Great Britain, his heirs and successors, shall have, hold, keep, and enjoy forever, with plenary right of sovereignty, dominion, possession, and propriety, all those lands, regions, islands, colonies, and places whatsoever, being situated in the West Indies or in any part of America, which the King of Great Britain and his subjects do at present hold and possess, so as that in regard thereof, or upon any color or pretense whatsoever, nothing more may or ought to be urged, nor any question or controversy be ever moved concerning the same hereafter. I want to know if you understand where we are going with this. We are talking about constitution and reform. See? And when you look on that piece of article here, I mean, me know say them still have this as a part of the agreement. These agreements now going away. Article 7, and this is from 1670, right? So we are a part of the Commonwealth. We see the Prime Minister and this government pushing for constitutional reform. What is your view of removing the crown? Because that is the first part. You know, some people still want to hold on the crown. I don't know if you are one of them. Some people still feel like say it's the best thing for it. And some people still feel like that a republic is better. We better we have a president. Give me your views on that first part of the question.
For me though, Imara, I can understand why some Jamaicans would feel that to hold on to the crown is better, because they're not being shown a clear way down the road or to see where we are going. They can't see that. So it's better you stick to, like people say, stick to the evil, you know. So until they can see a clear path as to where we are going, they'll continue to want to hold on. However, for me, all this talk about constitutional reform and all of that, it means nothing if it is not about the people. And what I see happening, I'm definitely not satisfied with the approach that is being taken, where it's almost like a small grouping are sitting down in some room somewhere and deciding as to where we are going and trying to push some kind of thing down our throat as to what we must accept. And, you know, as part of the process, they might fling one little meeting down at the cultural center in Sam Shaft Square to say that they consulted. But how can you consult when you have the Maroons? They're integral to the process. They have crown lands, what they're supposed to be in charge of. That would, you know, those things were exchanged. And
no. Let me correct you, sir. That those lands are the Maroons.
The Maroon lands, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, cool.
But they are in charge. They own those things.
Yes.
Why aren't they a part of the process? You have the Rastafarians.
Wow.
They need to be a part of the process as well as a grouping. You need to have freedom input. You have women as a grouping? Why don't we have a say? You also need to hear from children, because as much as them, we're going like say them have no sense, they too have a voice and them have views. Even the youngest of it nowadays can put forward some sound argument. Sometimes will have you baffled. Me listen to my nieces and nephews and other children. They're bright beyond measure. Give them a voice in the thing. And you see all of this alabaloo about this and that and all of these speak, you know, all of these jargons that they're throwing around, you know, mean nothing. For me, there are certain things, the focus is not even on whether you're gonna have an executive or a ceremonial, and none of them is something that matter. Because if you're gonna do ceremonial, it is almost like what we have now, where the governor general, you know, is head of state. So none of them don't mean nothing. What I'm concerned about is the human rights aspect of this whole thing. And don't tell me, you know, I have nothing against the LGBTQ plus community and all of those letters. I have nothing against it. But for me, the focus is too much on that and not about human rights as a whole. The right to housing, the right to land, and I'm talking tenured land. People need to have their land tighter, then can go borrow money and do what they need to do. You understand? The right to health. You understand? Health care. My mother, she lives in Sacramento. Her social circle is right here in Falmouth. I know she would want to be here, but what should I go do? My sister, my baby is a doctor. My mother is now going to go and sit on a corner regional for 20 hours. They wait for see doctor and get treated upon bench and a tent. They burn up. When in California, they send Uber to pick her up and take her to her appointment and take her back. Come on. There are certain rights and privileges that I need to hear about. And until those things are at the center of all of what is happening, then it don't make no sense to me. But then again, we can't stay quiet. We need to advocate. We need to demand what we want. And for me, that's going to be true constitutional reform.
You see, you're an excellent communicator, you know. And sometimes some people like them peep into other people's mind. I mean, I wonder if you're not peeping in my mind, you know. When you talk about the Maroon and the Rastafari community, right? And say something to me, Rastafari brethren, them. When it's a disgrace, I'm going to say it loudly. And the reason why I say so. You see, all I know we are trumpet and I run up on the mount, Baruka, the whole on a disgrace to the movement. And you know, come like you don't understand where the culture you come from. You know, when you use it for highlight yourself more than highlight the collective vibration of this movement. You understand? You know, I am going to say this because here what? If you understand the foundation of this movement from Leonard Howell, Hibbert and Hines and all of these great warriors of, you know what I mean, stood up, you know, to take control of their lives and to take control of their destiny, to remove themselves from white colonial and supremacy. And you, enough of us, just come look on it and believe, say, it is a hype thing. If you go say poem and sing on stage and jump up and believe, say, that is Rasta. Rasta is the Black liberation movement, and we should understand that and make it look like, say, it is just about entertainment. So everybody go sit down on radio and entertain people and entertain themselves, you know what I mean? And not dealing with the real issue, as according to my brethren Jamali. Now, there is no way the amount of atrocities that Rasta been through, you know what I mean, before the even 60s. Everybody garden 1963, 60 years now, see? But it is long before that Leonard Howell, the founding father of Rastafari, was charged for sedition, sent to prison, sent to asylum and madhouse many times, beaten, you know what I mean? Them property burned down, you know what I mean? People like Claudius Henry, you know what I mean, was charged for treason. His two sons were assassinated, right? Yes, by the state of Jamaica. You understand? So if you don't really understand that issue there, and know, say, this time there's an important issue and now for we deal with. Our advice just docile, just dormant, we don't hear nothing. And over the years, I believe we create this kind of conspiracy if we talk about Rasta not involved in our politics. Yet the God and the King we worship was a statesman, was a politician. And I found no one you want to understand that. I burn the little fire there, so, you know, I never really want to go there, so, but sometimes that is a part of me. You know, I have to burn a little fire right there, so. You understand? But me agree. And when you talk about the Maroon has been a government before we have any form of independence. The Maroon, for over 280 year old, has a organized group of sovereign people who, and they are the only other landowners in Jamaica, because sovereignty, it means that you don't pay tax. The rest of the is landholders, those of us who have title. We are holders. We don't own nowhere because all the taxes. And that's why I read the Article 7 of the Treaty of Madrid, because what that assure you say, the British and the Crown of England who own the entire West Indies. So when we are going to talk about constitutional reform, why we should have some people who still wearing the title of King's Council and Privy Council be head of this? I'm going to go to some of the people who may sip on this. You know, it just dawned upon me today when me I reflect, because sometimes I reflect and I say, wait. That's why them did I go on with them little thing. So is the Honorable Marlene Malawu Fort, right? Rocky Mead. Yeah, wait. Including Attorney General Derek McCoy, I don't know him too much, Senate President Tom Tavares Finson, Government Senator Ransford Graham, Opposition Senator Dana Scott Motley, Member of Parliament South St. Andrew Western, Anthony Hilton, International constitutional law expert, Professor Richard Albert, national constitutional expert, Dr. Lloyd Barnett, consultant, counsel, and nominee of the leader of the opposition, Hugh Small. Now, I say, Hugh Small did know say this will go on, because the last time I see him burn up in wig. But you should have burn up, yeah, you know. You should have burn up all the King's Council and the Queen's Council title where you have. So when you know say these things did go happen, I don't know I play a trick on the people them over the years. You know what I mean? When I've been tricking the people all the time. Right? Representative of a wider faith society, Dr. David Henry. I don't know you, but you know, civil society representative. That's a civil society. All right. Nadine Spence, chairman of the National Committee of Reparation, civil society. So all them people are civil society representative. What's civility in this? Eh? So this is the civility that you just talked about.
And you see, Mr. J. Boswell representing
Mr. J. Boswell representing the youth. Lolita Davis Mattis representing as somebody who are dealing with reparation. Now, you see, we have to observe these things, you know.
Nobody from religion. Really? Which part?
No, somebody is there from the religion. And that is David Henry.
Which denomination?
Because
that is also
important. They say
faith-based as well. Ministers fraternal.
Yeah, so we don't know what faith-based. You see them use these little terms from the people.
Sometimes you don't mean nothing.
You know, and this is and you see, as a politician, you know, that's why you're there. So as a politician, and we are.
Me know it's typical, you know, because me not go say what people want to hear me to say because they want to hear that. I'm going to say what I truly believe. And I'm in the process. I'm not going to do any damage to the party, right? But me have my voice, and that is what I like about the PNP as well. All views contend.
Yeah,
you understand? Yeah, you must be able to say what you truly believe, which is I like about it. You're not for the tread no one line like some we acquire. No. I have my views.
Yeah, but that's you're supposed to have an independent political view. That is something that is a fundamental right for every human being. I don't believe you'll have to follow everything with your party. I said, you know, if party puts certain things in place and it is not working for the best interest of the people, and you see where you can create something. Remember one time the same party nearly killed in a parliament, you know, there was something. that I believe she was the minister of works or something at the time, or labor, Portia Simpson Miller, something with some fire brigade, you remember? And she supported something on the other side, and our colleagues then nearly set her on fire. And that's why I respected her, because she's really somebody who will speak her mind. And I want somebody who are going to lead me. We can sit down and talk. We can have a kind of discussion pertaining to what is happening on the level, on the grassroots level. See? So we have looked on the makeup of this committee, as my sister, and we have to look deep into it. You just talk about the Rastafari community that is absented from this, and the Maroon community. See?
Yeah, Chief Richard Curry. Why isn't he a part of it?
And even other colonels, you know what I mean?
And yes,
Yeah.
Portland Colonel
The
and all
Portland
of
colonel,
yeah,
all
why
of
is he
them.
there?
You know what I mean? See? And you talk about, I feel we should have people, because I don't know Sujay Boswell, yeah? He's still a student in school.
But he's politically aligned,
He's-
and it is true.
See,
So you need to have some neutral voices there.
I saw, I believe is a reporter from England recently. I don't know if it is Queen's High School, one of those high school, and she went in there and interviewing some young, brilliant female, right? And I am saying, why these young people aren't a part of this world struggle? Because, check it out, you small, like Barnett, we give thanks to the contributions that they have made over the years, right? But how come we are going to allow them people if it determine the future of Femi and your pitney?
I mean, so
And them are not part of it. How it go work?
exactly.
So these are some of the things I want you to talk
They're
about.
going to pretend to think like youths, or this is what the youths would think based on what they're thinking. It can't work. And this is why this makeup it not even start yet. But I think that them already have it worked out, and they're going to trust it at us. It's just that they want to create a facade as though there is consultation.
Are we going to allow them to?
That is the $1 million question. Are we going to allow them to get away with it? I think not.
And you're ready to stand up on the battlefield and
course.
defend it?
Of course. I'm not going away now. I'm here, and I'm here to stay. I'm not just talking about Trelawney. I'm talking about Jamaica, period. Everybody is run gone. Me there. I'm not going away. I'm not forget them.
All right. We have another thing to talk about. Julia, you can find us up there for me. We have about, because politics and economics goes hand in hand, and we have to look at it in a deeper way. You find it yet, Julia? All right, make we see if we can some
In the coming
clarity.
weeks, I'll be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the national identification system. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. Our military is transitioning. The society is moving very quickly, very rapidly to become digital. Our banking consumers are seeing it as well, because the banks are moving very rapidly to digital. You have some.
There's a part where him say the bank, on nobody afraid of it cut at a particular that you must be prepared to interact with machine. It sounds a little bit scary, but this is where the world. But then did make them announcement long time after they won the 2020 election, the night them I do them. What them call it? What kind of speech?
Well, it wasn't concession in their case. It was victory speech.
Then victory speech. Okay. When the matter got the Minister of National Security, this is his words. We must know that we are now moving into the fourth industrial revolution. That is from Dr. Arias Chang, right? That is his words. Now, when we look at what is happening now, and we hear the Prime Minister constantly using we.
Who are the we?
Why you answer that question there? Come on, if you're part of the we there.
No, I'm not a part of that we at all. No, otherwise I would have known. Because the thing is, I mean, with this this new world order that Jamaica clearly is a part of, because we're a part of the world. One of the things that I'm concerned about is how, you know, those persons who are not yet formal, how will they fit into the grand scheme of things? Are they going to suffer the consequences of decisions made by leaders without consultation? Or is it because they felt that they didn't need to consult, because at the end of the day they got what they call it? They got such a big victory in the 2020 election, so that in and of itself is kind of like consolation, or to say that there you go, we are giving it a right to represent whatever you do, because it was a landslide. You know, the country was painted green. You know, so I don't know. But trust me, we do have some concerns, and my greatest concern though is the silence. The silence is deafening, especially from groups or people who you'd expect to speak. You know, that also includes some politicians too.
No, what then give one for drink or give for drink. Cause like people and drink something or eat something, I mean, I know what dumb them down that, you know. Recently, me just have a chit chat with the people in the market, you know, about this new thing. And some people have said to me, why when that bridge they come, we cross it, you know. You know what I mean? And it seems like them don't know how serious this thing is for farmers, you know. Oh, you know who are going to represent a constituency where, you know, maybe the vast majority of this constituency, I don't know, you must tell me, you know, a lot of the people in this constituency are farmers, the people in the market, the street side vendor, the man them will after us. So I realize when COVID did go on, and them people get the biggest beating, and the people them who are the merchants or work corporation, them get richer and richer. You understand? Now, and what people don't realize that during COVID, all of this, you know, them did their hush IT, them are prepare and know say, all right, after this thing over, you know, because that was the mask for COVID, for what is coming now.
Cover.
So them halfway wear mask and them did their mask and do them job and I do what them have to do for sending things per way, and the people them don't really understand. All know them don't understand. So some people still walk around with mask because they don't realize it. Them take off for them long time and them give you what them have to give you. Now we are here, my dear sister, and this is politics and economics. What kind of system we are going to find that is different from this, which is, I see it as robotic, digital, technological slavery? Because when you look at it now, when you go to a machine and you can pull certain amount, say you have 2 million at the bank and you want to take it out, it look like an even for your money, you know, because they give you how much you can pull out at a particular date and this and time. And now when you see this, I go to a deeper level now, where guys, I get deeper now, where you have to go either deal with something on your phone and you have to pay all of your things. So therefore,
But it is already happening.
yeah, me know. So therefore, every single one of us either have to go have a laptop or we have to go have a phone. How much it will cost? You have to go wear the chip in your hand. How much it will cost the country? Because a one set of people I get rich off of this, you know, is the people who own phone company and build computer and them thing there, you know. And the people them who build the little microchip them, right? None of this no really benefit us, you know. We are just consumer into all of this digital age. And this man is echoing the narratives and the agenda of Klaus Schwab and these people who organize the World Economic Forum and give them an order and say, this is what you must do. And him come and say, we who, you never consult the people of Jamaica. They say, this is what we are going to do. We see what them not do with needs over the past period of time. You know, as a politician, as somebody who is aspiring, because me still I wonder where the PMP, because me know hear the PMP I say nothing about all of them something here where I go on. You know, me know what.
No, but that's true.
Yeah,
though.
but me just say, you know what I mean? Where is the alternative? Me kind of confused because me no hear no alternative. Or you are going to be a part of a movement when I show the people no alternative to what is happening right now under this administration?
That's a very good question, you know.
No,
hard.
I know hard, but it's the
Because
truth because
that's
we
a-
need something to vote for, you know. We
That's an
need to vote.
excellent question. That's an excellent question. But you see, for me though, it's a matter of trust. Can we truly trust our leaders and say that they have our best interests at heart? You understand? I myself have leaders. You know, I'm here being an aspirant, wanting to become a candidate. I have a leader who, you know, clearly would know more about what is happening than myself because they're closer to the seat of power. I'm aspiring to be there, you know, so, you know, you're not all that informed. But I would want to be able to trust my leader to think that they have my best interests at heart and the best interests of everybody. You know, right now as it stands, and I'm not talking about the PNP leader, and I can't trust my leader. You understand? And think that he has my best interest. Because I mean, coming even from COVID, you know, we were locked away, and then all of a sudden this thing just disappear, you know, and vaccine no longer required, but COVID no gone away. Where has it gone somewhere? I don't know. So, like a lot of people, I too am confused, but I believe that we need to have our people's interest at heart, and that is, to me, that is that ought to be at the center of politics. Politics have to be about people because they're not like a cow and goat I represent. A people.
Me read that takes you from Mr. Patrick Beckford. As a member of media, what is the thought about how the press have been bought and subsidized with paid government ads? Ripe Mango has a what commentary? Okay, we see that. All right. The immediate how you plan to educate the masses about constitutional matters. You see,
I mean that I like that question because I mean, we have long known, Julia, that the media is almost like when I was going, they tend to say that if truth preach at church mash up. It is the same thing with the media. You know, there are so many gatekeepers. So pretty much by the time you get what you get, one whole heap of something come out there because they have to factor in. When we're at a certain place, Julia, you know, before the news could come around to you, me get the news. So somebody will tell me something and me write it or me do my research. When I call to the researcher don't left out, you know, what them think don't affect somebody. So I get something that is watered down. Then me further water it down because maybe I have biases that maybe I'm not even aware of. You know, if I something about my church or my party, maybe me go and soften the words, right? And then some of the time, as we know, the owner of the radio station used to say they want to hear anything. If anything is going out about politics, they want to hear before it go up on the air. So them say, all right, take out that or don't carry that. So by the time we get the news, I know nothing. A water down to Brebridge, as people would say, right? So we understand how the media works. But at the end of the day, there was a time when Jamaicans would still get the news because there used to be more consultation. As a leader, you need to have your little group. And so you have your youth group, you have your elderly group, you call them together. We know say old people can't, not like they out late night and so on. So, you know, you need to set time and put the systems in place where you can say, listen, this is happening. You give them the information as as raw but as palatable as possible and say, what do you think we should do?
Mhm.
You understand? So these are some of the things that you have to go back to traditional media in a real way, because even with social media, a lot of what is being highlighted are entertainment, just the entertainment value.
Mhm.
You know, if me want a good laugh, me go look spend some foolishness for IG or something.
Mhm.
Bust two laugh and gone on my bed. But that not really serve me in the long run, and it not really help nobody. So we now need to going back to basics. We need to go back to basics. We need to have more consultation, more meetings with people. You need to have more groundings, you know, that kind of vibe. We need to go back to those things.
But you know, so see that they might try to take away from the
Exactly.
people, the whole thing of grounding.
And
you know how much
meeting.
beating people get for groundings, and we as a youth, we used to gather and wall serious political discourse.
Exactly.
Saying, and we were labeled. Remember one time, you know, because this was my always mode of dressing when we really militant. You know, with my red and white epaulet. You know, I've known pants now. I know the red and white really signify them time that, you know what I mean, we were deep socialists. So I can't say them thing there because me not really have no alignment when it come to, you know what I mean, political ideology. When I say alignment, me not label myself as PMP and GLP. Me see myself deeper into an ideology that can benefit, uplift the people in general. We are the people. Me come out of a Maroon community, and the Maroon community will prepare me to become who I am now, because that Maroon community taught us communal living, where when we cook a pot, we don't just cook a pot for those who are in the house, we cook a pot for those who may pass by. You know, that is the whole principle. You know, we blow their bang when something happens, and we sort out the issues among ourselves. We have our own court system, our own order, our own structure. And that can replicate in any communities. You know, you have a community and you can decide, say, no guy can come in a community that can deal with certain things, you know, and the community can be very strong. And that's why we call this the community buzz. And, you know, what we say on the community buzz, you know.
But Amara, not to cut you though, but remember, you know, that even during COVID, you know, all of that, it was a way of socially distancing people.
Yes.
You understand? So you have a stop community, afraid to talk to each other because you don't want to get COVID.
Yeah.
And then you find that this thing is just going to continue. It's just going to advance. So till we stop talk, people afraid to meet. If they don't have us talking, I done for. We need to go. We need to start talking to each other again in a real way.
Me like that cut the way you cut me a while ago, because it was very, very important to make that point. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people never realize here that did I go on in a COVID. We want to say enough respect to the people over Primal Media. You know what I mean? We are small casting over there. Your voice there all over the world. You know, people are listening to you. You understand? And we're saying enough respect to social to Primal Media, www.primal4k.com, and we are on the World Wide Web, www.fitfmja.com, and you know all the people who tune in, you know, and we give thanks, Patrick Beckford, for your contribution over there. You know,
appreciate it.
We appreciate it. You know, so you know you are one of the voice, and I wish more people could talk like you.
Looking
understand?
forward to him coming home and assist him with the process. I met his son, most handsome, Junior.
Yeah. So you're there now.
There you go.
Another to I say, you know, come home, come be a part of the change. Or if you want to stay there and do what you know that is necessary to do, you just do it. You know what I mean? Because this thing is going to take more than talking. You know, politics is activism. You have to be active. You have to be out there. And that is why, you know, we're glad you're there, because, you know, we see the other aspirant very active, you know, and we see all things out there, you know. So your plan to really shift the energy towards you. What is your plan?
Well, guess what? I'm on the ground, because at this stage, you know, the people will say, oh, we don't know her. We have only heard of a lady, but we don't know the lady. And that is fair. And some of them will never know me right now because I can't meet everybody within the time that is allocated, a time that even I myself and I'm unsure about. However, I don't like to be driving through communities as though I'm some kind of queen with some motorcade about me a wave. That's not my style. Me really want to know what the issues are, how people feel, you know, what are their concerns. When I become the candidate, what is it that they would want me to focus on? You understand? So therefore, I prefer to go host to host, which is what I've been doing,
Okay.
and I will continue to do. I'm not going to create little hype and little noise and something because clearly that is what they want. So I'm trying to give them a little of that, but I continue to meet with people, press the palm, as they say, and that's the only way I would know that in Hamden land they're concerned about issue of land tenure. The same thing in Zion, the same thing in parts of Falmouth. You understand? In Falmouth, as well as in some of the more agricultural area, you know, fishermen need support, farmers, small farmers need support, and that kind of thing. So therefore, when I become the candidate, I can now advocate, and not just advocate, where I can write proposal to get funding to start some program even ahead of time, whether or not I'm elected, because that is never my concern, you know. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the things I want to do. So the driving up and down and the waving and the whole heap of noise making and the dub plate and sitting, my view is that I no time for that yet. I no general election, I no campaign. And mark you, I've done this before. Me know if you campaign, you know. I mean, know if you bring hype, you know. But me just not feel, in my heart of hearts, me not feel say time for that yet. I want to meet the people. I mean, I was in Daniel Town on Saturday. Rainfall yesterday, I mean, I get to go Jackson Town, but I'll be heading there soon. And I was in Hague on Friday. I'm just going around in Hamden land, all over the place. I want to hear what the issues are so we can address those. And really and truly, a lot of what is happening, a sideshow and a distraction and a detraction. You understand? Because there are real issues out there and there's a lot of work to be done and we need to start.
Yes. There's a lot of works needed to be done, and we need to deal with it right now. Here, we need to deal with it. You see, there's something we want to go to, you know, pertaining to the same constitution thing, because sometimes I see some violation go on. See, recently, let me go to 19. See, recently I saw some policemen, maybe about 15 of them, and them have a piece of board and I broke off a man grill. So I broke off the man grill. And more people to understand. We are talking about constitutional reform and we have something here. See what them say, our constitutional rights. And I am wondering sometimes if the police them know the constitution, if them have any knowledge of this piece of document where them supposed to work under. Except his own consent. This is 19 of the 3rd of the universe. Let me go to it before I read it. Let me go to this.
Chapter 1.
No,
chapter
this
2.
is chapter 3. And this is the fundamental rights and freedoms. See? And it's 19, right? Except with his own consent, no person shall be subject to the search of his person or his property or the entry by
others on his premises.
See? Nothing contained in or done under the authority of any law shall be held to be inconsistent with or in contravention to this section to the extent that the law in question makes provision which is reasonably required. See? In the interest and defense of the public safety. So them use them thing and sometimes take back your right for the people. But I am saying, this first part, when a policeman I go try to break down, I'm certain say them don't do it in a certain community.
Right.
Them don't do it with certain people. Right? And this is what we are looking at in Jamaica today. Some people can do something and then just get away, not even sleeping a day in a jail, right? But some police, and I'm wondering if the commissioner of police saw that video, because this is social media and it must be going around. I mean, I hear nobody has said nothing serious about these things because these are violation of people's fundamental rights. And these rights should, you know what I mean, be impartial. You know, some people should enjoy that you can't come in my community, while a group of police can come with some board and literally block off a man grill for go inside there. So, or we are going to reform something, and while we have one when it really a work for we, or it have a work.
I think that when it comes to the police, they're necessary, as you understand. Yeah, they're necessary, and I do believe that the majority of police officers are really, really solid people. However, I think the system is to just change the uniform. That's not enough, especially in this modern time. The force, we have to go back to why it was created, when it was created.
You know why it created?
It was created to protect the plantocracy, right? Protect them against the plebs. And it is still in this modern day.
Tell the people what plebs mean.
Like people like you and me, like, you know, the little people. So therefore, we will not own nothing, or we were slaves, right? So it was there to protect the planters, right? And the force, yes, them have new uniform and all of that, but it's the same modus operandi. Nothing else has changed. They're still there to protect the planters or the descendants of the planters against the people, which is why, you know, we sometimes seem to be at loggerheads until they recognize, or the authorities recognize that we know, you know, there are no longer no planters around. And I guess they're expecting to clear this up with constitutional reform, but I mean, it can't be cleared up because that is not even being discussed. The role of the police and how you're going to modernize the force, you know, to not be at odds with the people who are supposed to be protecting. I mean, how do you have a policeman who him mother and him father out there, and him gone in our next community, and you're going to rough up or box down one girl who could have been your sister? You know, that does not sit well with me. It don't sit well. You know, same how you don't want to protect your money, you have to look at everybody like that. And you can't be at odds with the people who you're expecting to get help from. You understand? And at the end of the day, the majority of Jamaicans are not criminals. So we need to be more mindful of that. And in changing the uniform, we also need to change the system. It's a systemic change that is needed. That's how I see it.
And the systemic change, what approach are we going to use? You know,
I mean, just like how you have constitution stipulating, so well, the people also need to know their rights. But say, for instance, even that man, because I saw the video of the police, they dig down the place, they dig down the man grill and something. If the man will even say, you know, I know my rights, and start quote the constitution, like, so maybe the police would have shot him a box or something like that, because again of where he is. Maybe if you come into my community and me come out and say, listen, I know my rights. I'm not call me lawyer right now because me don't have my lawyer upon speed dial. Maybe you deal with me a little bit differently, and maybe you shot me a box too. You understand? But as you rightly point out, it depends on where they go. If them see somebody who is up, who's higher up on the totem pole, they deal with them differently. The systemic change includes you laying out certain, you know, maybe, I don't know, I don't even want to call them articles or whatever, but how they need to deal with the people. You can't see the people them as your enemy.
All right. You see, you touch a very important point when we talk about constitution. And big up yourself, Simone Maddox. This thing, do you believe that a constitution should at least be a part of the school curriculum, that no politician should be elected if they don't know the constitution from front to back? No policeman should put on a uniform if they don't know the constitution from front to back.
True.
No teacher should become principal if you don't know the constitution from front to back.
Well, the PNP used to be that.
And this is what we have said. If we're going to function in a society where we respect people, and this thing that we talk about a while ago with civil responsibility. I heard that a young politician was talking about corporate responsibility, and he never mentioned nothing about civil responsibility. I mean, I said, you jump to corporate and left out civil, because if we not be civilized with each other, where are we going?
Mhm.
So I am saying, do you believe that the Constitution should be taught in school?
I believe so, and I think that
And what
what
level you believe we should have
I
started?
think we should start from again. I think that you see, just like how nowadays you have everything LGBTQ included in there, and all them books where them give pitney a creech. I think so you can include, if I've as cartoon characters,
Yes.
they can start because they can grasp it. So you start from even early childhood. You understand? I think we need to do that. And while we're at it, throw in the philosophies of and teachers and Marcus Garvey too. While we're at it.
Say me I'll get a ticky. Ticky. So, because guess what? You see, we talk about other people culture, right? I have a brother, as a ex-US Marine. He lived in Japan for a while, and he was sharing with me how the Japanese, the youth, them, the Chinese, from a certain age, the kind of responsibility, that was given unto them, to take control of them life from kindergarten, them, have what you call janitors in school. It's a little youth, them clean up them school.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered when the tsunami hit Japan, and the elders took it upon themselves to clean up the radiation from the nuclear radiation.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they call themselves? The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, from Hiroshima.
They call them after
that, but then
so they call themselves the Suicide Squad. You know why? Because they decided that we are going out now. So the next generation is the one who is going to come and replace us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we see Jamaica, as Buju Banton have one album named Upside Down. It's an upside down country because we are whole people still make decision for the younger set of people. See how that work. And I've been saying it to a whole heap of people because them believe say, watch a man, we should have succession leadership. We should have put things in place that the youth them ready and prepare to continue. Just like how the crown continue after the queen dead, the 2 hours or hours after that, you have a king that even in the court of Jamaica, they start to say, Hailey, Hailey the queen. 2 hours after the queen dead. And this is no joke. In the courts of Jamaica, this is how fast it happened. Then I wait. You know what I mean? No long time to say, boy, we need to have an election and these things. When we are talking about the decision of a country, we cannot exclude the most valuable, I don't want to use the word asset, but me have to use it, of the country. How we are going to really liberate ourselves, my sister. We want to know how we are going to really liberate ourselves, because you are part of this process, and you are no political neophyte, because you have been there,
But what they say, Mara, if slavery would not have lasted as long as it did, if the slaves recognized that they were not free earlier.
Wow.
So that kind of difficult. But I mean, one thing I can tell you, I'm not come for general as soul. Yeah, me just tell them as it is, and trust me, I'm here to really serve, and that's all.
I wonder if enough people know we have some very highly paid slaves in Jamaica, including the Prime Minister. I don't believe he knows him as a slave.
True.
Yeah, we are some very highly paid slaves, because we are here talking about constitutional reform, and we are talking, and we realize, and we don't realize that we're still not in control of this piece of land what we call in Jamaica. And that is maybe one of the reasons why they try to, they don't want to include the Maroons.
Exactly, in the discussion.
Because them realize that the Maroon maybe have more authority over them, you know what I mean? Because they are just serfs, you know? And this is something that we need. You just said something a while ago, you know, my sister. I believe Harriet Tubman did say the same thing. Say she could have freed many more slaves if they did only knew that they were slaves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And we look at it and we see say some of the people them what end up on is just a hype. And you just talk about the Clark status and the Big O status, you know, and all of these things, you know. Would I like, you can't arrange that the comedy that come in and come sit down talk with you because you must work. Would I like to talk to him, you know, for really hear what plan him have, you know. I'm still, I say, all the Prime Minister would I like to talk to. You can't get him to come here, Julia. And we want to talk to the sitting MP.
Indeed.
Because none of them no bigger than we. We supposed to can interact with them and hear clearly. See? So, my producer, you're a part of the media, you know, and
well respected.
Yeah, and we understand that you're a well respected person within the media, you know. So don't make it look like say like how them can go up on any other media house. I don't want we're down here so I'm not going like we're small up Fit FM. We're fitter than the whole of them. You understand?
Indeed.
So get them to come here and make we talk, and you know, cause me not go frightened to ask them questions neither, and them have to go clarify something. And I truly appreciate love, you know, Miss Suzette Brown for being here. Now, Suzette, no one you tell the people them how them can reach you, you know, your social media contact if you hope they are, you know, and the things them way I do. May I go ask you to market yourself, you know, and you can't say you don't get a chance to market yourself.
All right, let us just say because I'm on the road a lot, I have a team that is helping with social media and that kind of vibe. But when it comes to the political side of things, they can reach, IG is Suzette Brown _N Trelawney. Suzette Brown _N Trelawney at IG. And I think it's the same thing on Facebook. And I do have a political number that they can reach me on. Again, you know, yes, when you have people managing you because you have to be managing so many others, that's 876-559-2582. 876-559-2582. I welcome all suggestions, all recommendations, and I believe that all ideas need to contend. So you have to be no PNP or no P at all if you reach out to me. Trust me. Me that the kind of person. Me is all about people, regardless. I mean, me love my PNP and that is true, but I'm about people.
Well, I really love the PNP since you say so.
You see, because I get and Lord, you know, stop sting. But listen, I grew up in a PNP family on both sides. But that and even then I would have called myself PNP. But I became more intentional. I knew that I was when I got to UA and I started studying politics and realized that all meaningful development that benefited the mass of the people, the masses of really was undertaken by the PNP. So how could I not support if I'm about the people? You understand? I really don't understand how somebody who said them have the country at heart or people at heart support the other side. And then especially if you're a student of history, if you know anything at all, you see all the development. We're not here to go back. You understand? It's just that again, the PNP is so much about service that sometimes they don't market themselves as well as they should. And maybe that is also a message for me as well. Yeah.
Because you said this, you know, that's why we are talking about documentation. And if you have a movement, such a vibrant movement, and the history of that movement, I believe we should have even at the PMP office or all constituency office where the PMP hold, they should have some records or some documentation. You know, one thing I heard Mark Golden said when he and Lisa was going up, that he would reignite the whole thing of political education. Me don't know if that a go on. Me not hear nothing about it. You see me I say? And a part of that political education, I don't know if him have the whole thing to deal with that, because the political education of the PMP of the 70s was socialist centered. And this is something that I'm saying. This leader is a capitalist. How is he going to promote that? You know, I'm saying it because it's the truth. And nobody can hide from that. You understand? We see where we are now. We see where we are. People are going to talk about integrity. Integrity is one. But what we have to look on is system. Is a system that is going to work with. Right? How is he going to function in the system? So I'm not questioning.
Yeah, which is why
I'm not questioning him his integrity.
Yeah.
You know, everybody say, boy, nobody can point same teeth, anything, and all of them something. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't point to Lisa teeth
And nobody at all.
But you need to, but I guess that's why you need to have a mirror. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can really look and see what are because us, as me I talk about the people who really build Jamaica, the backbone. You just talk about the teacher, you just talk about the same police, them, you're just talking about nurses, you know what I mean? And you see this new, what you call it, after COVID, the whole wages where them get, some people feel like, say, boy, them gone way back 4 years ago.
But some people feel like them gone forward, you know, so the judges them must celebrate.
So it looked like, and that's why I did want the other part of the speech. You know, there's a part where him talk about the whole technological thing with the army and how they are moving forward. So we want the people to pay attention closely if we are going to become a police state. You know what I mean? Where we're going to be ruled by a iron fist or something like that. We are in a serious time. And we have to look on the time seriously, and we must be prepared, you know, and how we are going to move forward, you know. And I'm happy that you come here and talk to us. And I want to say you did very well, you know.
This has been most enlightening for me as well. Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, the pleasure certainly is mine.
Yes.
And at least I would expect that some people would have some kind of insight into what I'm about. I can't be anybody but me.
Yeah. It's love, and it's the community buzz on Fit FM. I'm already musical revolutionary. I don't know if you could have find Awaken, but if you can't, we go out with it. Or the timing, yeah. But it is something that we have to look on. You know what I mean? We have to wake up ourselves right here now and realize where we are going, you know. More you look all the people in the market, we still have a respect on my virgin Shango, you know, he's a man we always tune in. You see me I say, bless up on the chill spot, you know, Pablo restaurant. So we hang out and we hold the vibes on a Pablo. Saying, you know, we talk Rasta, we eat all the best food about the place, you know. And you know what I mean? Seeing so that kind of vibration of a wall, you know, and we have to keep it and we have to expand it too, you know, that people can understand how we depend. Yeah, man. Yours truly, Imara, taking you out. Awaken. And we are so big up Primal Media. Big up. Nihima. You have got your advice, but stay strong, my sister. Next strong. We will be here.
I signed up the eye. Early morning as I rise. Deep breathe and exercise. Feasting on the sun rise. That are you